Hey, it's Michael here, and here with Pastor Malcolm at Central Community Church in Hanford. And really just one of the things we've been talking about amongst the pastors and the leaders in Central California are the God encounter stories that we've had. That's been one of the ways that we're really trying to grow in relational connectivity. It's just by sharing and listening to one another's stories. And so I was asking Pastor Malcolm about that earlier. Tell me the story of like one of your God encounters. And so I wanted him to be able to share that here with us now and give you the opportunity to be able to hear about how God is really speaking to all of us at all different times. And yet those stories that are our stories are really precious and unique even to us. And so there may be some things in Malcolm's story that resonate with you or that tie into your own story, but we serve a God who's regularly wanting to connect with us. And so Malcolm, tell us that story that you mentioned earlier about a God encounter.
Well, as you know, Michael, I told you earlier, when I first came to Central California, when I first came to Hanford, before I came to Hanford, I was living in Canada. I was really a devout atheist, without a doubt. Around 2001, my mom got cancer, and she was dying. Wow. They put her in a coma, and I remember going to my mom, and she was in a coma for about 4 days. And I remember going to her, and I knew she was disappointed with my life up to that point. At least I felt that she was. And so I remember going up to her, and while she's in a coma, I just held her hand, and I said, "Mom, I'm so sorry that I'm such a disappointment to you." And she opened her eyes, and she said to me, she just opened her eyes and then shook her head to me, and then she took my hand and just said, and she said, no, and then she passed away.
Wow.
And I thought to myself, I said, my gosh, I said, I've been living all my life, like this is my life. You live, you die, and that's it. Yeah. There's no hope. And all I thought of my life, I have no hope in my life.
Yeah.
And so what do I do with that? And I thought to myself, where am I going? Next thing I know, about a few months later, I'm moving down to California, out of Canada, for no reason except for I love the lady that I was going to marry.
Yeah.
And I just started coming to this church, and this church lived across the street from where I lived at, happened to be this church, with a Canadian pastor who introduced me to Rob Bell and Erwin McManus and Brian McLaren and all these what I call now hipster preachers. Yeah. And I love them because they actually opened up for me the God saying to me, "Malcolm, ask me a question. Ask us a question. Let us talk to you." Yeah. And that's really where it opened up for me, that I could ask God anything I wanted to ask. Wow. And it really moved me from there on, and my whole path from then on, because you know the story. Yeah. I just started becoming really involved in everything that was going on, the ministry at the church, and involved with the helping out with the people, and next thing I know, they were in a really tough situation. They asked me to stand up and just talk to them one time about my life. And I just went from there, and Roger got involved, and the next thing you know, 5-10 years later, I got ordained as a pastor in the Church of God. Right. And that's my real heavy-duty God encounter in my life.
Which is amazing to think that here you are, not believing in God with this really low moment with your mom in a coma where you're really thinking about life and death and family, all the things that really do matter. Yeah. And from that moment of desperation where there wasn't hope, to think that God is now using you as an instrument of hope. He filled you with His own hope. And now when I think about it, being with you all day today, like you're regularly just trying to be an agent of hope here
like
in Hanford.
There's so much, and how much it can actually, and you shared it with that young lady today, that's how much this hope can really change your life. Yeah. It gives you something in this life. Oh my goodness. And I can't keep this to myself.
Absolutely.
It's time for me to share this with other people, and I want them to feel the same hope that I have. Yeah. And I say, because it's there for you. It can save your life.
That's good.
For eternity.
Well, if I can be any word of encouragement to you, it's been amazing. I can see that hope that's been contagious in the people that I've been able to meet in your church. And it's been amazing to see the way they carry that hope, and they're learning to take that hope where they go as well. And so that's just another example of how Jesus is the subject, because He's the one that brings the God encounters into our life. He knows exactly our stories. He knew where Malcolm was, even in his atheistic beliefs, and yet there's a God who seeks us out. He's worthy of being the subject of our lives, really of all of our conversation. And then it's another example of how we're taking back what hell has stolen. Hell wants to steal hope from the world around us. Yeah. And you can see in Malcolm's story that God has come to replace hope, and Malcolm is in position to be another person to take back other places where hope has been stolen away. And so God bless you guys. Have a great day.
Thank you, guys.